here we are. Back to this line, where we live all in relation to this line. Fear is a natural part of the human experience. So is above the line, the remedies to fears. So derailers. This is the apocalyptic horseman. This is the vortex that I see leaders, teams get trapped in. Someone said earlier, disrupt the puck. I was like, yes, that's brilliant. We have to disrupt the puck. We have to disrupt derailers with interventions to create better solutions, because if we get trapped in this vortex, it gets harder and harder to get out of. It's possible. The only difference is choice, is awareness and choice, and how motivated you are to live above or below this line, the lowest functioning part of your brain or the highest functioning part of your brain. So what are the 4 fears? No matter who you are, no matter what role, if you're an executive level, these 4 things are the basic human things. So when I am coaching, again, I'm listening for how much are these infiltrating the system, the decision making? What is, and it's not always just one. You'll see they bleed into each other. But this is what you have to capture. You have to create awareness and disrupt. So this is what's going to inhibit your team's success. Threat. Let me go to this over here. I've properly prepared for you with some great interviews. Thank you, friends out there what's it like, right, to be in your world? What are your challenges? And so, for example, how fear of threat is currently showing up in your locker room. We're having locker room conflict. That's not creating a safe psychological place. That's the second most important thing to team and organizational success. We have fear, there's threat of, well, how do I coach up? How do I influence the room around me and above me? What about I have fear of threat of losing my spot on the roster? That's going to affect how they show up every single day. If they value this more than the higher purpose, this is going to derail your team. What are some examples of fear of failure? Will others do the work? Can I trust them to do the work? I have a fear of letting my family down or my boss down. I have a fear that there's too much change that I can't actually build something sustainable, substantial. Everyone has a fear of exclusion. This is actually one of the worst things that you can do to humans and animals will value belonging over food and shelter. So you have to design with intention for these. How fear of exclusion is currently showing up in your system? I don't fit in. It feels transactional. The gaps in the values are just too big. And lastly, we all have a fear of self-worth, of not being good enough. So I'm not valued. I have athletic decline. This is a reality that you all have to address and confront. If we don't address it, the problem will only manifest and persist, and it'll infiltrate, and it'll cause even bigger problems. Do not be afraid of the fear. Do not be afraid of the below the line tendencies. They're actually there as catalysts to catapult us, to learn from, to improve our capabilities and our capacity. Everyone has to face these things at some point or another. And so how do we do that? That's with enablers. We live in a world of duality. To every negative, there is a positive. Look at the atom. It's how energy works. And so we need these to catapult us into, so what is the solutions to these 4 fears? What's the duality? What's the opposite of threat? We need to feel, help me out. Safe! It's that easy. Don't overcomplicate it. If your people don't feel safe with you, we heard it a lot today. Connection, trust, partnership. That all stems from safety. So what does that look like in your world? I want you to say things like, I care about you, and what's important to you is safe with me. The duality, the opposing force to fear of failure is success. So you need to value and speak to and invest energy in success more than the fear of failure. I know I'm coming out here. We've had plenty of coaches like, it's scary being up here. I want to please you. I want to do well. We all must face that. And so what do you do to counter that fear? Things that you need to reinforce internally and externally is, I'm committed and I'm dependable. You can rely on me. And anytime that you don't follow through with that, with your actions and your words, what's it going to do? It's going to actually reinforce the fear versus the remedy. Exclusion. So then, We need to design and speak and act to belonging. What does that look like? I coach. I play with purpose. I'm a part of something that's bigger than myself, and my contributions matter. We are all in this together. This is what you need to reinforce. And lastly is self-worth. I know millionaires that doubt themselves, and they're successful GMs and it still plagues them. Get it out of the way. Remove the clutter. Instead, let's look at, I know what my intent is, right? Like my intent with you today is to learn, to connect, to glow, and just to invest in a more inspiring future. And that's more than enough for me. I can do that. I know that if my self-worth is wrapped around that versus the title or the goal, I'm gonna have a more sustainable career, more influential career. My actions are here to enable a better future.